This is my reflective statement video. The three sections I'll be focusing on this is stance on assessment, how assessment shapes my teaching, how assessment shapes student learning. Stance on assessment, beliefs and values. I believe assessment is important for student growth and learning. It allows teachers to gauge students' levels of knowledge. The Finnish National Board of Education has given teachers a lot more control over their student assessment, and this is great as they will be as they have the students all day. Speaking to my teacher, which is artifact number 4, has made me realise that assessment needs to occur in both a formal manner at the start and end of the year, but also to be put to the discretion of the teacher. Overall, I think assessment is important, but more control should be given to schools and teachers. Issues with assessment. The Australian government has good intentions about assessment, but assessments like NAPLAN need to be carefully monitored. ACARA says it is an independent statutory authority that will improve the learning of all young Australians through world-class school curriculum, assessment and reporting. This statement concerns me as assessment methods like NAPLAN, number 1, take up a lot of valuable teaching time, number 2, can make teachers teach to the test, and 3, be potentially unfair as students learn differently. How assessment shapes my teaching. Positively. As mentioned before, assessment is important and will be incorporated into my teaching. Having school and year levels handouts, such as the literacy assessment handout, which is artifact 2, and integrated unit planners, which is artifact 7, are good for giving guidelines when assessment should occur in teaching units. Having various teacher-controlled assessments to gauge student prior knowledge and end-of-unit knowledge will be important to my teaching in a controlled manner, not only for the teacher's benefit, but also for the students. Speaking to my placement teacher, she said she believed assessment can drive the curriculum. Negatively, whilst I see assessment as important in teaching, assessments like NAPLAN, introduced by the government, can be a potential issue. From my conversations with various teachers at my placement school, Artifact 4, it can take time away from teaching and potentially not be an accurate reflection of the student's abilities. Although these assessments are unavoidable, the more teacher-controlled assessments need to be done in the classroom. How assessment shapes student learning. Positively. Assessment can provide feedback and areas of need for student learning. If a student does well in an assessment piece, it can highlight what they have learned and give them great motivation. The student development policy, artifact number 1, at my placement school highlights providing a diversity of open-ended classroom activities accessible to all, with challenges for all students. The use of teacher-controlled assessment can provide this for students. Negatively, on the other side of the argument mentioned above, if students don't go well on an assessment, this can have negative effects on the student's confidence. Once again, with the involvement of the Australian government, NAPLAN doesn't necessarily suit all students and can give them negative feelings towards assessment. Overall, I believe assessment is important in the classroom with teacher-controlled assessment tasks. Making sure assessment is valid and available for all students is incredibly important. And finally, assessment is there to drive the curriculum forward, so effective assessment pieces need to be planned for this aspect. Thank you.